welcome to NTV English News Bulletin. I'm Bhavana Casey. In the beginning, we have the headlines. At least 4 persons killed after a Hilux Jeep met with an accident in Suket, one seriously injured. Tamang community celebrating Sonam Losar, welcoming their new year. Various programs being organized to mark the day with gaiety and fervor. Brazil's President Lula sacks army chief 2 weeks after riots in the capital, suspects the main. Will number 1 Swiatek out of the Australian Open after losing to Rivakina in 4th round. Number 7 Guelph also knocked out. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have the news in details. At least 4 persons have been killed after a Hilux Jeep met with an accident in Surkhet this morning. One person has been seriously injured in the accident. The injured has been sent to Karnali Provincial Hospital in Surkhet. District Police Office Surkhet said the Jeep en route to Birendranagar from Sattari of Bherigangar rural municipality, some 70 meters from the road after losing control. The deceased have been identified as 27-year-old Sagar Shahi, 33-year-old Dipendra Chand Sahi, 31-year-old Bobin Sahi, and 36-year-old Rajendra VC. The Tamang community is celebrating 2,859, the Sonam Losar, with much gaiety and fervor. According to Manjusri calendar, Tamangs divide their year into 12 cycles. Each is given a special name before the name of the animals. The day is celebrated with fanfare by extending greetings to one another and feasting on traditional cuisines. Lo means year and Sar means new or fresh if translated, and the word Sonam refers to the Tamang people in Nepal. Thus, the festival Sonam Losar is the New Year event. According to the calendar, the government has given a public holiday today on the occasion of the Sonam Losar. Water sources have started to freeze in Khumbu region of the Himalayan district of Solukhumbu with a sharp fall in temperature. The temperature has started to decrease. The water in the tap has also started freezing. Locals say even the water stored in buckets and other vessels has started freezing and turning into ice. The frozen water only melts when the sun shines in the afternoon. With this update, time to go for a short break, but still to come we have. Welcome back. You are with the NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have the updates from the international front. Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has sacked the country's army chief 2 weeks after rioting in the capital. General Julio Cesar had only been in the role since 30th December, just before former President Jair Bolsonaro's mandate ended. Missed dozens of military officers in recent days. Thousands of supporters of Bolsonaro stormed government buildings in Brasilia on 8th January after managing to march largely unchallenged through the city. A U.S. airstrike assisting government troops in Somalia has killed about 30 Islamist al-Shabaab militants, the U.S. military says. The operation happened near the town of Galkad, about 260 kilometers north of the capital, Mogadishu. Over the past few days, the Somali army and al-Shabaab militants have fought for the control of the town. Friday's airstrike came as the army was being attacked by more than 100 militants, the U.S. Africa Command says. Earlier, the Islamists killed 7 soldiers after storming a military base in Galkad. U.S. Department of Justice search of President Joe Biden's home in Delaware, a lawyer for Biden says. Some documents seized at Wilmington property on Friday were from his time as a senator and others from his tenure as vice president under Barack Obama. Biden and his wife are not present. Earlier this month, Biden's lawyers said a first batch of classified documents had been found on 2nd November at the Penn Biden Center, a think tank the president founded in Washington, D.C. More updates lined up on the other side, but before that, let's have the highlights first. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have more updates from the international family gatherings and crowds visiting temples after the government lifted its strict zero-COVID policy, marking the biggest festive celebration since the pandemic began 3 years ago. Fireworks, music and lanterns filled the streets across China as locals began celebrations that are expected to last for 15 days. The Lunar New Year is the most important annual holiday in China. For the past 3 years, celebrations were muted in the shadow of the pandemic. Several popular beaches in Sydney have been closed after sharks attacked a dolphin in waters near the city. At least 2 bull sharks were spotted in the Shelley Beach area in northern Sydney after the attack, and authorities closed all nearby beaches as a precaution. The injured dolphin sharkled the shallow waters but eventually beached and died. Manly Open Surf, a carnival taking place in the festival. More updates lined up on the other side, but before that, let's have the highlights first. Top seed Iga Swiatek is out of the Australian Open after losing to Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina in the 4th round. Rybakina, seeded 22nd, had to struggle to replicate the displays which saw her win at the All England Club in July. But against Swiatek, the Kazakh showed again how she thrives on the biggest stage, playing confidently and powerfully in 6-4, 6-4 win at Melbourne Park. Canadian Marianne Tenold enjoyed home success in the women's aerials event in Canada on Saturday. Tenold claimed a victory on home snow, scoring 96.23 points. Ashley Caldwell of the United States finished second with 92 points, with the podium completed by Ukraine's Anastasia Nabosad with 86.71 points. In the men's aerials World Cup at the same venue, victory went to Kuyan Delhinger of the United States. Delhinger scored 122.62 points as he stood on World Cup podium for the first time, becoming the first male skier from his country to win an aerials World Cup since Chris Lillis in February 2020. With this update, we come to the end of this English News Bulletin. But before we say goodbye, let's have a quick reminder of the major stories. Phuket, one seriously injured. Tamang community celebrating Sonambos are welcoming their New Year. Various programs being organized to mark the day with gaiety and fervor. Brazil's President Lula sacks army chief who, 2 weeks after riots in the capital, suspects the members of the armed forces colluded with protesters. And world number 1 Swiatek crosses out of the Australian Open after losing to Rybakina in 4th round. Number 7 golf also knocked out. That's all we have in this edition of English News Bulletin. We shall see you again with next round of English Bulletin at 6 in the evening. Till then, have a great time ahead and stay tuned with us. Namaste.